Dragons, I'm back. So we are going to do a reading vlog this week. Well, actually a few reading vlogs to be very honest. So if you don't know, I'm doing TBR Harvest and Fabelin at the same exact time. And Fabelin, I'm really at the beck and call of Margaret, so I'm trying to wait for that. So for this vlog that you guys are going to see, we are going to do the Escape the Haunted House thing. And because we're in Act 2, I will show you this beautiful graphic that I printed out. So we're in Act 2. We're gonna go into Act 3. So I'm really gonna wait to choose like a physical book for this vlog until that prompt gets announced, because Scooby's Unite is the first one. You have to wait up, you're in the attic. To get out of the attic, you have to choose a book for another readathon. But because I always have to be in the middle of reading something, I am going to pick up the final act of Jeanette Willoughby by Ellery Lord. And this is going to be my physical book. And it's a mostly black cover, which will count for a side quest. It's also not that long, so the hope is I could probably wrap this up once I like sit down and read it. And it is a 14-day hold, so I do need to get a move on it. And if by chance I do this really quickly, I'm also going to read Pretty as a Picture, and this is also another black book. This is a little bit longer, but both of these were recommended. This, I think I heard about this from Meg with the Books, and this from Leandra. So I do not know when I'm going to start these, because honestly I'm in a listening mood. So I'm going to go listen to my audiobook, which is going to be in a different vlog because I don't know what it is. And I will talk to you guys once I have an update. In an ideal world, I will have read 50 pages of the final act of Jeanette Willoughby, and I will give you guys an update. But it's a thriller, and I go into my thrillers pretty much blind. So I'm not going to know too much about it, but I will be back. Bye. Hey Book Dragons, I'm back. I sucked at updating this week. In my defense, I really didn't read like a ton this week. A couple of reasons. I will say this. For this, when I was coming home, I had really bad headaches, and I just didn't want to read. I wanted to kind of veg out and watch some mindless YouTube, which is definitely my default when I'm kind of stressed. But I did wind up getting up to page 131 in the final act of Juliet Willoughby, and my goal is to finish this. I have a 3-day weekend. I'm heading to Comic-Con next week, so my goal is to kind of power through and read as much as I can this weekend. Tonight, the rest of the night, I'm just gonna read and relax. Tomorrow I'm off. I have to go get my nails done. Sunday I'm meeting up with a friend in the city to give her Comic-Con ticket so she's good. And then Monday I'm off. And then Tuesday and Wednesday I have to go to work. And then Thursday and Friday I'm going to Comic-Con. So I want to get some reading done this weekend. Relax, recover, go see my friend, print out our schedules in case we need to buy books. But this book is a little bit interesting. It has an interesting narrative structure. So the book starts off with in the present, and one of the main characters, Patrick, basically gets arrested in the first chapter. And then you kind of fall back in time and you go back to Caroline and Patrick in 1991 as they are kind of starting off the things that get them arrested or gets him arrested. And then it's also interspersed with journal articles from Juliet Willoughby's point of view. She is an artist that her and her lover were killed in a fire, and she had a painting that her husband took credit for. I'm enjoying it. I just don't feel that connected to anyone, but there has been a disappearance in the past, and I'm wondering if that's connected with the murder in the present. I'm liking it enough to keep reading. The writing style is very interesting. The characters are fun. It's very rich people problems, but the mystery is keeping me intrigued. So I will come back when I have read until maybe 200. Honestly, 209 is probably the goal, but I want to actually get back on the habit of watching YouTube and watching a TV show, because it's been a bit. So I will come back when I've read a bit more of this and give you guys a little bit of an update. I'll be back soon. Bye. Hello Dragons, I'm back. I just get nails. So that's what I was doing. But when I was getting my nails done, I did wind up reading a little bit physically of the final act of Juliet Willoughby, and I am on page 204. This book is only 312 pages long. It's not that long. I have 100 pages left. I'm enjoying this. I don't think this is my favorite thriller of all time, but I do like that now we're currently in the present, and we had to do a lot of backstory. There's also a lot of point of view characters and also a lot of timelines in the story. So you really have to pay attention to whose point of view you're in and what time period you're in. But I'm having a really fun time with it. Like, it's a very interesting narrative style. I haven't read anything by this author, and it's like a duo author. It's a pen name. But I am having a fun time with it. I'm happy that the story has progressed to the present, because I'm really interested in how that stuff has worked out. So yeah, when I finish another 100 pages of this, I will give you guys an update and we'll do a final check-in. But I'm happy to be reading more consistently. That has not been the case this week. So I will be back when I have an update for you, probably in a little bit. I'm going to kind of listen to my audiobook for a little bit. But I do want to finish this tonight. That is the goal. So I will talk to you guys when I'm done with the final act of Julia Willoughby. Bye. Hey friends, I'm back. Sorry if you hear my heater. It is cold in my room, so you're probably going to hear that for a while. But I will try to turn it off in the future, but I just need it on right now because my room is cold. So, for the Escape the Haunted Maze, my goal is to finish this video by Wednesday, because that's when I'm going to Comic-Con. Like, I'm going to Comic-Con on Thursday. So I went to Scooby's Unite and I had to fulfill a prompt for another readathon. So I finished the final act of Juliet Willoughby by Ellery Lord. I gave this book 3.75 stars. I think this was a more a me problem and not a book problem. I read this over the course of a week, and I just think it was too long for me to feel that connected to the characters. I did like the various point of views that we got. I thought that was super interesting. But it is one of those it gives me dark academia vibes. And those stories always are a little bit disconnected for me because I don't like any of the characters. But it was a fun, quick read. It was very, very engaging. I never wanted to DNF. I just felt like I was reading it over too long for me to feel connected. I'll talk a little bit more about this in my wrap-up when I do that tomorrow. But I give this book 3.75 stars. So the next thing I have to do is I have to get to the fireplace. So I have to read a book with a dark cover. So I think I'm going to... And then I have to read a book that's something that's connected to a series. And then I need to read a book that I enter blindly. So... that is where we are at. Yeah, so I'm going to do that, I think. So I think I'm going to read Pretty as a Picture by Elizabeth Little. This was a rec that I got from Leandra from TBR Zero, so I'm going to read this. I'm actually heading to the city with my friend today to meet up, and we have to do some Comic-Con shopping together, because we always do that right before. And I also have her ticket, so I got to give that to her or she won't be able to get in. So I'm going to bring this with me. And my goal is to at least read 100 pages on the train and all of that stuff, so I don't know what it's about, but I hope it's more captivating than this book. The problem with this is I didn't want to read it. Like, I didn't feel that connected. I probably should have DNF, but I'm going to give this one a shot, so I'll be back when I have more thoughts. Book Dragons, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up going to the city yesterday with my friend Sarah. Had to give her Comic-Con badge, so we always do some book shopping, so I just wanted to share what we got. I went to a couple of bookstores, and I'm just going to kind of haul what I picked up. I hope I'm not biting myself in the foot and getting books I shouldn't have bought, because I am going to Comic-Con on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I also know that, like, I'm going to probably buy stuff there anyway, and I don't want to carry everything. So I got A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne. I got this because it has beautiful sprayed edges, and also has a built-in step back. So, haven't read book 1 yet, but I did want book 2, and sometimes the sprayed edges vanish. So I also got The Haunted Bookstore, A Gateway to a Parallel Universe by Shinobora. This is a light novel, and I have the first one, so I decided to get the second one in case I was in the mood to read them. So I have these two. And then we went to Books of Wonder, and I got Amari and the Despicable Wonders by B.B. Elston. This is a signed first edition. And I feel like I have a copy, but I do not know where it is. So I got Scander and the Phantom Rider, which I will definitely read because I love book 1 and then I just never continued. So these are 2 books I'm going to add to the collection. And then I got a few ARCs. If you still don't know, if you go to the Strand in New York, there's a section where you can buy ARCs. It's all on the up and up because the publishers give them to them, but not a lot of people know about that. So I did wind up picking up 3. I got Ghostsmith by Nikki Paul Prada. I also got Under the Surface by Diana Urban, which I really, really want to read. And I have an audiobook of this one, but I keep losing the hold. So have this. And then I got School for Wicked Witches by Will Taylor. And this is going to be perfect for my students. I'm probably going to toss this in my classroom when I'm done with it. And then the last book I got was Sword Cross by Freya Marxus. So that is my mini haul of the stuff I picked up. This is just a brief haul. This is the stuff I knew I was going into, except for the arcs, you never know. But that's the stuff I was like, went in. So now I'm going to give you a bit of a reading update about what I'm in the middle of doing, what Fablin has contributed to the chaos of my life, and then we're going to get to reading. Bye. I left my house, as I told you, and I was reading Pretty as a Picture by Elizabeth Lill. I got about 100 pages into this book, and I was really, really liking it. And then Fablin dropped her problem. That did not work for this specific book. But I am liking it so far, like a lot. So you follow a main character named Marissa. She's an editor on a film. She's a film editor. But she's having some issues with her current working partner. And she kind of needs a new job to kind of help her stay solvent for a little while. So she takes a job on a movie set. She doesn't know a lot about it. It takes place on an island, and that's all she knows. And she gets there, and things are weird from right off the bat. And I let her read 100 pages. I'm really intrigued. It also has a podcast element, and I love that in a book. So basically, you read like a couple of chapters, and then you get a transcript of a podcast where they're kind of in the present telling you about the past. I'm really liking it so far. I can't wait to get back to this. But Fablin dropped her prompt, which means I have to read for that first. Good news is the second prompt I can read this for. So my goal was to pick something short. So I either had to read a book that was like a dice roll pages long, which it wasn't. I had to read like a 500-page book, and I was not doing that. Or I had to read a book, a part of a series, which this is currently not, I don't think. Or I had to read a book that had a creature smaller than a cat on the cover. So there's a little creature, you can't really see her. So I picked up Autonormal's Monster and the Disappearance of White Palm Beach. This is a massive book. Like, this is so big, but also the kids would love it. So I read about 100 pages of this, and basically you follow a main character named Otto. And it's a very fragmented story, which means I'm like not as captured. So basically he's living in a town, and his mom gets hired to go to this monster village, and he has to kind of go there. And he's a human, and things kind of go from there. But I read about 100 pages. It's fun. I could definitely finish this in a day, as long as I'm like doing something else. I'm going to kind of watch TV and then kind of read this as background noise, because it does have like written parts, and then there is pure comic sections. It's 400 pages, but probably more like 200 if you like read everything. So I'm going to read this next, and then my goal is to get back to this before I go home, like before I leave and start work tomorrow. But I have a full day off, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So yeah. That's all we're going to talk about in this. And I will talk to you guys probably when I get up to page like 200 in this. Like, I'll probably give you another update when I get up to page like 200. Yeah, I'll give you an update. So like, I'm going to read the next little section, and then I'll give you an update. But so far, he is very, very creeped out. I will say the writing style in this is a bit fragmented, because I feel like it's kind of like a graphic novel. Like, I feel like you kind of jump sections, and there's a bit of a time jump. But I am enjoying it, so. Alright, I'll be back. Bye.
This vlog was really, really chaotic to film because I was really reading inconsistently. So, I didn't wind up reading that audiobook. I wound up DNFing. And then I moved on back to reading Pretty as a Picture, but then I didn't vlog that much. So, here's the clip where I chose that book and my thoughts on that.
Now that I'm done with that book, I am going to go back to reading Pretty as a Picture, and I'm 104 pages in, hopefully to make a significant amount of progress, because I want to finish this before Wednesday. So yeah, you guys will see my updates when I have read at least another 100 more pages of this.
Review this book in this video either, but I did talk about it, so be sure to check out my vlog. I will be better at vlogging for the future. Just this week was really, really busy, and I want to get a vlog up for you guys. So yeah, here's the end of the vlog.
Book Dragons, I feel like it's been a bit, and it has, because it was New York City Comic Con, and I really didn't vlog. I read a lot, but I didn't really vlog anything. And I was just sort of picking up stuff that I wanted to read, but I did wind up wrapping up this vlog, so I'm just going to kind of wrap up this vlog, do a little bit of a wrap up with the 2 books that I read. They will be in my end of the month wrap up, but I didn't really wind up vlogging them, but so my series read was A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoy it. I really like all the books in the series. It's very a spicy, fun time. I think the fall and November is a great time to read them because they're very atmospheric. This one is Hate to More. There's memory loss. You did meet this character, both of them, Astaroth and Caladia, in book 1. So I feel like this series should be read in order because there is like an overwhelming series. But I had a really, really fun time with this one. I thought that it was solid. Definitely I preferred this book to book 1, which is how, and I'm loving book 3 that I'm reading right now. But this one's a really, really fun time, and I had a great time reading it. And then the last book I had to read was a book that I entered blindly. So I picked up Speak Up Santiago by Julian Ana and Gabby Mendez. This comes out in March 2025. It's from Penguin. It is an early arc that I got at Comic-Con. And I really, really like this book. I gave this book 4 stars for review. It was a really, really fun time. Basically follows this young boy who goes to live with his grandma. And he is not the best Spanish speaker. He struggles a lot with it. And he winds up going to stay with his grandma because he's kind of working on his Spanish for a year. And he wants to see his improvement. And it's just about their relationship, his dynamic with the town, and his friends that he meets. And I gave this book 4 stars for review. So yeah, that is my Escape the Haunted House book, or my TBR video. I had a really, really fun time with it. So for Scoobies Unite, I read the mystery thriller. I can't remember the name. The final act of Juliet Willoughby. For a dark cover, I read my other thriller by Elizabeth White. I can't remember, but I will check my next video. And then I read my series read, which was A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. And then I read Speak Up Santiago, which means I didn't know anything about it. And I literally had my friend give this to me at Comic-Con. So I think that's success. I will see you guys later for my last vlog of this month because I kind of took a week and a half off. But I will be back for the last one. Bye, book friends.